Hello Gophers, welcome back to part 4 of our introduction to Go. In this tutorial, we will be mainly focusing on how to declare variables, constants and what are types. Before we move forward, please do not forget to subscribe and press the bell icon on our YouTube channel so that you don't miss on any further videos or tutorials that we put forward. So, the topics that I will be covering today are how to declare a variable by the two variable declaration method, that is implicit and explicit, redeclaration of any variable on package level and scope level, visibility of variables, how to declare constants, naming conventions that you need to follow while declaring a variable. Now that we have already learned from our first video that Go is a strictly typed language, then this implies that any variable that you declare in Go has to be assigned a definite data type to it. Declaration of any variable has two methods in Go. First is explicit declaration, second one implicit declaration. Any method that you choose, the variable type has to be known at the compilation time. So let's understand the explicit type declaration first. Here I have a variable with name variable name as name, and its type is string, and the initial value is given to it. Here the initial value assignment is an optional part. You can skip it and you can do it in later part of your code as well. Now let's see an code for the same. Here I have a variable declared name which has an initial value assigned to it by the value Mr. Smith, and a variable int32 assigned a value of 27. In Go we have two type of integer variable basically. One is type 32 and one is type 64. Both of these have significant memory allocation as indicated by the variable type name also. The 64 byte will have 64 byte of space, and 32 will have 32 byte of space to it. Now while declaring a variable, you should be well aware that how much memory do you need for a variable. Here I have declared this variable with type int32. Now let's try and print this value on the console. Let's run this program. So now it has printed the name is Mr. Smith and age is 27. So this is one type of declaration. Now in explicit type of declaration, if you want to declare a variable by its family name of type string, I'll assign a value of Joe to it. Now we have declared two variable over here, and we are using both the variable family name, and let's go ahead and add an identifier for the same so that this is done. Now if I go ahead and run this program, I'll get the value as name is Mr. Smith Joe and age is 27. Now if you see, I have declared two variable with same type. This can be also reduced by shortening this syntax and taking this and mentioning the two variable name consecutively with the data type and assigning their initial values with a comma separated value. Now let's go ahead and try to print this. We have the same result. So this is explicit type declaration. Now let's go ahead and understand implicit type declaration. In implicit type declaration, we can declare a variable by its name colon equal to and the initial value. Here the initial value assignment is mandatory because at compile time the variable data type will be known by the initial value that is assigned to it. So if I want to declare a variable same with the name as name, and I'll assign a value of type string, That means at compile time, the compiler will assign a type of string to this variable. Now let's understand this with an example. In the same program that we wrote earlier, I am writing an variable with variable name as name of person, and again a variable name is family name of person. I'll assign two values to it, Mr. James and Mr. family name would be Bond. In this, I have declared two variables by the name of the person, second is family name of person, and I have assigned some value of initial value to these two. Now let's try and print these two value and the type of values in it. So person name is %s for the family name, name of the person, family name of the person. Now let's go ahead and run this program. Oh my bad, I have not given a line break over here. Let's add a line break to the first line so that the two output do not mix in same line. Now you can see the person name is Mr. James Bond. So this is how you can declare variables implicitly. Now if I want to declare a variable of type int implicitly, then age of person is equal to 50. Now I'll print this, age of the person and whose age is %d. Now let's try and print this. See, now I have printed the person name is James Bond, whose age is 50. Now if you want to print the type of name of age of the person, then we can use identifier as %t, where you need to give age of the person variable name again. Now if I run this program again, I'll get the variable type as int. Now Go compiler will always assign implicitly three type of variables. So one is string that we have seen in the first line, second is int, and if I give dot over here and then run this program, then it will give %f to be written over here because it's a float value, then we need to write %f. So if you see, now it has given float 64. So any value that does not have a decimal point in it, it will be an integer type, or if it has a decimal point, then it will be of float 64. But in case you don't want to assign any value to any variable initially, then you should go ahead and use the explicit type declaration, where you can write price of type int 32 and leave it. Then again you can go price equal to 500. This is perfectly fine because we have explicitly declared a variable over here with the type and then tried to assign a value to it. Now one more important point about Go is, any variable that you haven't used in your program but declared, it will not allow you to compile the program until unless you remove the variable. Now if you see, Here it has mentioned that price declared but not used. So Go also helps you reducing the memory map of your program, because by removing all the unused variables or any unused imports in your program. Now let's also start by understanding the scope of variable. Now we can also declare a package level variable in a Go. For example, I have a variable named as conversion factor of type int 32, which has value of 67 assigned to it. This is a package level variable. Now if I want to use it and print it in some other line, printf, where I am mentioning conversion factor is %d conversion factor. Now I have declared a variable in a package level scope. Now this, if I have another function by name function conversion, and I want to print this from the function, and I'll call this function over here. This is also allowed because this function is having access to all the package level variables that we have declared. So this will always build and run. Oops, again I missed a line feed. So if you see, I have conversion factor is 67. I have written a line feed and I'll run this again for you. So if you see, conversion factor is 67. So that means now the variable which is declared on the package scope has accessible to both the function. But in case I declare a variable again over here with name as conversion factor of type int32 and assign a value of 89, and I try to print this over here, then what should be the result? So if you see, so now if you see, I am trying to print this again and I see two values, conversion factor 89, which comes from this line, which means because this line would be run first and then this function is called and then this one is printed. Now we have two scopes, and this function will always return the value of 89 for conversion factor, because this conversion factor whenever used will be always taking the value from the nearest scope for it. This is also called shadowing concept in Go. Now if I write over here to be very clear, from the function, so that it makes very clear to us. Now that's it. So we can see 89 and 67. But if I would have written this statement just above this declaration, before declaration, pardon me with my spellings, I think there is some mistake with my spelling, that is why it was, yeah, sorry, the spellings were wrong. Now if you see, so in conversion factor before declaration it was 67, which was supposed to be the value from the package level variable. Then when I declared it and then I printed this, then I got a value of 89, and then the function was called and the value of conversion factor from the function was printed. Now let's declare a variable by name as size and assign a value of type integer to it, and then later in the code I'll also try to assign a value of type string to it. When I'm trying to print the fmt dot printf, size is percentage d, because I meant size to be of type integer. Now when I compile this program or try to run this program, I will get an error where the Go compiler will mention that a value of type string cannot be assigned to a value of type int. You can see this from the error. Now this has to be removed. So that's how Go is a statically typed language. So things that we have learned from Go are: Go variable declaration basically are type is still static and determined while compilation level. So whether you use implicit type declaration or explicit type declaration, the type always is known at time of compilation and cannot be changed in course of the program. Variables once declared and have to be used, else compiler gives an compilation error. If we have a variable by name x on package level and a variable by same name declared in the function as well, then if we are using the variable in function, then we'll always have functions variable values as precedence. Now let's understand how naming of a variable on a package level will help us exporting the variable from the package and giving it access to other packages as well. I have created a package over here which we'll be understanding in later part of the video on tutorials, that how we can create packages. So for now let's understand only the variable part over here. I have created two variables with name, length and object. Both variable names will have the first character as capital. Now let's go to main package, import the dummy package, and let's get rid of the unnecessary code. Now let's print the value of the two variables. Printf percentage s, object is percentage s, and length is percentage d, and over here dummy package dot object dummy package dot length. So if I try to run this program, I can see that object is circle and length is 10. Now if I change the name of the variable object and start the name of the variable with small o and try to access this variable over here, then we'll get an error that the object variable is not exported from the package. So if you see, cannot refer to an unexported name dummy package dot object, unidentified dummy package dot object. That means any variable that starts with a small character will not be exported from the package. So that means it will behave like a private member variable of that package. If you use a capital case in the first character of your variable name, then the variable will behave as an private public member variable. Same goes with the function as well. Now let's create an function over here, function area, and this will be return area as 100 and return type is int. Now if I try to print this fmt.printf, area is percentage d dummy package dot area. I'll call this function and let's give a line feed over here. Now let's run this program. Okay, sorry, object, and I'll convert this to object. Now let's go to main program and try to run this, because capitalizing the variable name will help us accessing it from the dummy package in main package. Now we can see the area is 100. Now if I go ahead and change the function name to small a and try to access the function as a small, it will again give the same error that was given for the object. So cannot refer an unexported name dummy package dot area. So that is why if you see any package that we import like fmt, the function names are always starting with a capital case character. Now let's also understand how we can use constants in our program. Let's get rid of the unused code and the unused package, because if we don't remove, Go will be angry and giving us an error. So to declare a constant, we also have two type declaration. One is implicit and explicit. In explicit, we use the word const, the variable name, for example, conversion factor, and I'll remove this package level because we don't need it for now, int 32, and assign a value of 89, and try to print it, fmt dot printf %d and conversion factor. This will help us to print this value, and after this we'll also try to assign a new value to it, and let's see if this works, because a constant is supposed to be a variable where it does not change in further code. So now if you see, I've got an error, cannot assign value to conversion factor, because this was declared as a constant. So you cannot change the value of a constant in your code. Now there is one more type how we can one more method that we can declare a constant, where we'll skip out the type and let the compiler infer the type by its own, and then try to print this. So it's the same. So one more thing that you need to note is, while declaring a variable implicitly, then you use a colon equal to, but when declaring a constant you skip the colon in implicit type declaration also. Thank you for watching the video. Please do not forget to subscribe and press the bell icon so that you don't miss on any new tutorial or videos that we put forward. Also do not forget to like and share the video. We would love to hear from you of any feedbacks that you want or any new series that you would wish us to do. Please do comment that on the comment section below.